This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, something, just one soundbite on Daf Samach. The Gemara brings over here on Samach Hamad Beis the Shita of the Rashbi, that a Giyores less than 3 years old is allowed to marry a Kohen. However, clear is that above 3 years old, you cannot marry a Giyores cannot marry a Kohen. Right? Everybody agrees a Giyores over 3 years old cannot marry a Kohen. Why not? Why can't a Giyores over 3 years old marry a Kohen? Rashi says that under 3 years old, she's kasher l'kahuna because she's not presumed to be a zoina, which implies above 3 years old, she's presumed to be a zoina. We could presume that a guy lived with her if she converted above 3 years old. We could presume a guy lived with her and she has the halachic status of a zoina. In fact, Rashi also says on Daf Samach Aleph Amud Aleph, the second to last Rashi, that the Mishnah says that the Chachamim say a zoina is only a Giyores and Meshachreres v'shenevela bilas nus. Rashi says bias akum ve'eved pasla. So Giyores over 3 years old, we could presume that she became pasol and she has the status of a zoina. That's Shitas Rashi. Again, Rashi Shita is a Giyores is also to a Kohen because she has the presumed status of a zoina. Now, let's say we had a private detective, and we knew for sure she wasn't Mazana. She had a bodyguard, and we know we have Eidos. She was never Mazana. Could a Kohen live with her? The Rambam in Hilchos Isurei Bia, Parak Yud Ches Halacha Gimel, as well as Tosfos on Samach Aleph Amud Aleph, the Yevamos Ein Zoina Ela Giyores Meshachreres. This Tosfos is going on the Shita that argues on the Rashbi that even a girl under 3 years old is asur to a Kohen. And Tosfos says why? Afilu nisgar b'chusim bas gimel sham asura mitam zoina. She's asur because of a zoina. Now, what kind of zoina? But the bia is not a bia. By the way, the Rambam in Hilchos Isurei Bia, Halacha Siman Yud Ches, seems to say the same thing. The Rambam, Parak Yud Ches, Halacha Gimel, V'chein HaGiyores HaMeshachreres, Afilu Nizgar V'nishtachra B'chusim B'as Shalosh. L'maisa, at the end of the day, a guy has the din of a zoina. Why? But if she converted less than 3 years old, or if we know she didn't have znus, why is she a zoina? So Tosfos says, she's not a zoina because she had relations. She's a zoina because her parents are goyim, and goyim are shtufim bezima. Lefi shaba min oivdei kechavim hashtufim bezima. In other words, Tosfos says a svara, and the Rambam seems to hold this way, that if somebody comes from goyim, they are not considered a zoina because we're worried they were mazana. They're considered a zoina because they originate from a source which is immersed in znus. It's not because we say they were mazana, it's because who they come from, who their parents are, what kind of society they come from. That stamps them the status of a zoina. And the other shita in the Sugya, and with that is the shita of the Rashba, because really, the reason that a Giyores is asur to a Kohen, the Gemara in Kedushin on Daf Ayin Ches darshans it from a pasuk in Yecheskel. The Gemara in Kedushin says, Tanya Reb Shimon Yochai Omer Giyores Pchusim V'Ashal Sham Yamechad Ksher L'Kuhuna. V'Rabbanan hold their pasuk L'Kuhuna. V'Kulam Mikra Echad Darshu. They darshan from a pasuk in Yecheskel. Almana ugrusha lo yikach lem lenashim. Almana ugrusha they cannot take for wives. Kiyim besulais they can only take they can only take besulais mizera beis Yisrael. They can only take a basula from the seed of Klal Yisrael. Bottom line is, they darshan from this pasuk in Yechezkel that a Giyores is who's not mizera beis Yisrael has the din of a zoina. Now, would this be an Isser Dairaisa? The Rajva seems to say that yes, it would be an Isser Dairaisa. Even though it's learnt out from a pasuk in Yechezkel, nevertheless, the pasuk in Yechezkel is sort of megala what the Torah would have to say about such a scenario. In other words, the Rajva himself says it's an Isser Dairaisa, and this is our, in other words, our tradition is a Giyores is an Asr Medaraisa to a Kohen, and the pasuk in Yechezkel explains the reason, because the Kohen has to marry someone only Mizara Beis Yisrael. Others understand that it's only a din d'Rabbanan. That's how the Ravid understands. So basically, the bottom line is there are three possible ways of understanding why Giyores cannot marry a Kohen. Number one, Rashi, that is, we presume she was Mazana and she's a Zoina. Tosfos, that because she comes from Goyim who are Shtufei Zima, so she has the status of a Zoina. And the Rajma seems to say that it's darshan from a pasuk in Yechezkel that a Kohen can only marry someone Mizara Beis Yisrael. Okay, Rabbi Sai, thanks everyone for joining. Bracha v'hatzlacha, and have a great evening. Kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.